What's going on, YouTube world? Kick. We are back once again on Jimmy Easy Mafia Life. We are live with yours truly, Jimmy Easy. What's going on, Jimmy?
How's everything, Brooklyn?
Ah, can't
Ha-
complain, man. Can't call it.
Happy Sunday to everybody out there. It's
Likewise,
Washington Day.
likewise. How's the weather out there
Arkansas,
in Arkansas?
96. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It, I, was,
96.
I was up on the river, on the lake. It was gorgeous. I come down because I got to do this show, and then I'm doing the one after that. What was it called? American Made.
You have American Made set up for
Yeah,
today. Yes.
going after this show. So I came back early from the river. Usually I stay to Monday morning.
Actually, we're going to take a second now to say shout outs to American Made. We got an interview set with them right after this live. We just wanted to come to you guys and chat with you guys and go over a few things before we jumped on that interview. We have a few things to go over, a few things for you guys to see. Um, I just want to put it out there and say this now. We do get some feedback regarding this James Proctor stuff. We want to make it very clear. James Proctor is a great journalist. He's very good at his investigative work, and many people trust him and the work that he does in, uncovering information. So that's the reason why people say he's a big topic right now. We did send him over the paperwork just so he can go over it, not because we wanted to prove it or have anything to prove to anyone, but we want to let people know that the man sitting in front of you, Jimmy Easy, he has nothing to lie about. One thing about this YouTube world and social media in general, you have to, at one point, prove who you are. And we understand that. So, with that being said, James Proctor, thank you for your last video. It was great. Hopefully, the information we sent you now, you'll put all the pieces together and see that nothing at all was left out. And we'll be waiting on your video, hopefully coming soon. So let's go. Let's get into some of these questions, Jimmy.
Okay, let's do it.
So we got one here from Little Bastard Son. My respects, Jimmy. If you had to pick one cartoon character that best represents who you are, who would it be and why?
My
That's a
little
funny
bastard
one.
son. I like his name and his page. Sound like something my father would say to me. That's why I caught my eye. If I had to be one character,
One cartoon character.
that best represents who you are. That's a good one. Probably Roadrunner. I'm pretty fast. I mean, um, yeah, probably Roadrunner because that was I loved Roadrunner.
And why
Um,
is that?
just he's fast. I don't know. I didn't watch much cartoons. I watched Popeye. I liked watching him. Um, that remind me of me? No, I hope not. I can't think of none.
I would
Can
say,
you, Brooklyn? Can you? I mean, God, you can't hurt my feelings. I know I'm ugly.
well, I knew you for a long time, so I would probably say probably Yosemite Sam, I believe his name is.
There you go. I'm saying the
Definitely
same.
always carrying a firearm and definitely unpredictable, I would say. That's for sure. So,
Loose
little
cannon?
bastard son,
Are you trying to say a loose cannon?
don't put words in my mouth,
Not
Jimmy.
no more, Stevie. John, Brooklyn. There's nothing in the world going to get me in trouble unless somebody touches my kids.
What's going on, bro? Thank you for the message. We appreciate you.
What's up, Debo? Where you out of?
So let's go over one thing actually before we speak on some of these questions. Guys, get your questions together. We're going to be answering them, but we're going to go over a few things as well. Shout out to Jimmy's new channel, Jimmy Easy Mafia Life. Everyone go share it. Subscribe to his channel. If you like the content, just let your friends know. Let everybody know. We're trying to do the right thing here. we're going to be speaking on a Johnny A Light video that I have seen. Um, I seen it a little while ago. I believe we posted it on the channel, but clearly people don't understand it. So let's speak on that once again. So in the comments, we hear often that nobody knows who Jimmy Easy is. And I find that crazy because the least person you would expect to speak on who you are is somebody that was an adversary to you at that point in the mafia life. So let's go over that video. Johnny A. Light spoke on Mr. Easy and basically said he was a wild boy and said he was an adversary to the Gambino crime family. So elaborate on all that, Jimmy. Let the fans know what it is that he meant by that and
And
who he
I'll
was
tell you
speaking
where
to.
they might be getting the confusion. I went 20 years, over 20 years, never came out. My daughters, my kids never knew I was in the witness protection program. They never knew I flipped. They never knew Daddy did any bad things. And then I went through a bad divorce, and she put my oldest daughter on the stand and pretty much elaborated on everything I did. And then I'm not proud of it. And I hid them. That's how ashamed I was. So when they asked me, they were like at the time 18 and 16, and it's not too long ago. And they said, "That is it true?" And I said, "At that age, I told them the truth." And then they said, "Well, why didn't you write a book like everybody else says?" I said, "Maybe I could have. I was offered by Jerry Capisi, and I didn't." And they said, "Daddy, do it." So I did, and I did it under my name, and because I still wanted to, not so much for safety, like I was scared. I just kept my real name out of it because everybody here knows me as Zach Caruso. So if I write a book on Jimmy Sirocco, I'll confuse them here, but not thinking I'm going to confuse the real street guys that I knew. So that's where it happened. That's where the confusion was. But now to set it straight, they know my name, James Vincent Sirocco Jr., aka Jimmy Easy. Everybody knows me. And then they say they don't know me. And then Proctor does a video that me and Junior had territory disputes.
We're gonna
I
get to
mean,
that. We're gonna get to that part later. We're definitely gonna get to that part. We'll address this Johnny A Light video. So
I
basically, what
believe he
I've
was
seen in the
misled.
video was the same. For those of you who didn't see the video, I'm actually gonna go on my other phone and I'm gonna see if I can let you guys at least see the video or hear it, just so you can have some kind of knowledge of it. But at first, let me acknowledge some of these fans. Angela, happy Sunday. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Happy Sunday. Meatballs,
What
sausage.
do we have here?
Thank you.
Gamba
Appreciate you.
Holix, big fan, Jimmy. Thank you so much. Thank you for the
I love
support. Thank you
hearing
for
that.
subscribing. Thank you. What do we got? Oh, this might be a good one here. This might be a good one, but I know you're going to go off when you hear this one. So we're going to save that one and we're going to go on. What is this here? Dominic Sicali has a Roadrunner tattoo. That I don't know anything about. Do
I
you?
never met him in person, so I wouldn't know.
That's
I
a
grew up
funny
the
one.
Looney Tune days. That's what I grew up around. He's the one
I
that
got
never
one
got caught.
here. No nonsense guy. You need to send us a picture of that. I've never heard of that. Jimmy's never heard of it. Um, Nothing wrong with it. I know back in the days, in the 90s, there was a few people who had Roadrunner tattoos, especially on their legs and all over. I've seen
It
it
was
many
big.
times. Let me see what we got here. Joey Candela. Let's see. Jimmy, I know you had mad respect for Rudy, but you never mentioned Mark. R.I.P. Mark. I know you're legit, all good. R.I.P. Robert Arena and Thomas Maranga. Speak on that, Jimmy.
How are you guys? Listen, you know I'm real. And when Rudy passed away, I can relate to somebody who knows it. When Rudy passed away, it was tough. Mark, you know, had a problem. I loved him like a brother. I was at their house all the time. Michael had the problem. Good kids, but Mark was just, he self destruct. You know, they were good boys. They really were. Rudy loved and admired them, treated them good. He had good daughters. Rudy raised good kids. But after Rudy died, it's like they ran buck wild and they wind up overdosing. So, but
R.I.P. to
Mark,
Mark.
every time we were out, Ernie Barry's, Turquoise, there was fights all over. Who's in the middle of it? Mark. But I loved him. Wild Bill too. Wild Bill Jr. will tell you, he drove us crazy. I mean, he hung out with us. We didn't run from him because he was a good-hearted, likable kid, but he started a lot of trouble in the clubs. Wild Bill went back
Definitely a
home. Yeah.
headache.
I talked to him the other day. He has some back issues. Well, I'm going to have him on my show.
Yeah, we definitely spoke with him. Great man. Hopefully he gets
He had a
better.
great dad.
Definitely a well-known dad for sure. Shout out to Wild Bill Jr. Get well soon. We hope you feel better. We're gonna get back here. Shout out to DeBro 1102. Shout out to Hempstead, Long Island.
I know Hempstead good. I used to have a luncheonette, 1202 Hicksville Road by the OTB. It was a luncheonette on the corner of the shopping center. I used to have the luncheonette. They had the Joker poker machines in the back. I'll tell you one better. OTB was next door. We spiced it to them. I was taking the bets right next door, paying like 2% more. They were coming to us to make the bets.
I want this is one thing I want to elaborate on, and I'm gonna elaborate on this myself, Jimmy. You can take a back seat on this one. So, Mr. Bill Jordan, 3952. John A. Light is the biggest liar in history of the internet. So, why are we going to believe anything that guy has to say are both fugazi?
Okay.
So, let me answer this real quick, and then you can
Time
chime
will
in and
tell.
tell me how you
Actually, what's a
feel.
bet?
See, my thing with this is if Johnny A. Light is a liar or not, why would he uplift his adversary? I would understand if Jimmy was a great friend to him back in the days, or if he did business with him back in the days, but he clearly said in the video he was an adversary, a wild boy and an adversary to the Gambinos. Why would he want to give him any type of credibility? Sometimes you people need to make sense to yourself because that don't even sound correct. He is not, he at the time he wasn't his friend. He has nothing to gain from it. He actually in the beginning stated on the interview that he himself said Zach was a fraud. Later on, he figured out who Zach really was, aka Jimmy Easy, and then he corrected it and actually spoke the truth and was transparent. So why would you say otherwise? So elaborate on that, Jimmy.
Here's what I think most of the problem is. The younger guys out there, remember, in 2000 or 2001, December 2000, I flipped. I'm out of life over 26 years. These young kids, 35 years old, are telling me that they know me or this. How are you supposed to know me at 9? The days I was coming up, there was coming up Persco in the neighborhood. These guys, they don't even know those names. They can't even spell them, half of them. So, listen, I don't care who believes what, nothing. I know what I did, and I'm ashamed of what I did. But don't listen to clowns like that. That's somebody looking for attention. Oh, in Proctor's comment, he released a tape about a couple years ago that me and
Oh,
Gotti.
let's get into that right now.
Well,
Let's get
that'll
into
help.
that. Let's get into that.
They're still
Sorry
going
to
to tell
cut you
you
off.
I
Let's get
had
into that.
Proctor backdated. They got no life. These people.
So I'm gonna bring you. Let me pull it up on my other phone. I'm gonna put it up to the camera to see if you guys can see it. But this is going back to where people say that they don't know who Jimmy is or who he was, or just stupidity. So this was a video that was posted by James Proctor several years back. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to pull this video up. and hopefully you guys get to see it.
John Guy Jr. was initiated into the Gambino family on Christmas Eve, 1988, and rose quickly, becoming a captain by 1990. Known for his flashy persona and a diverse crew dubbed the UN, Gotti Jr. operated from the Our Friends Social Club in South Ozone Park. While he maintained legitimate business fronts ranging from auto repair to real estate, his crew was also deep into shakedowns, loan sharking, and gambling. Some traditionalists in the Gambino family were criticizing the crew's style. Allegedly, the Gotti Jr. crew had territory disputes with rivals James Jimmy Easy Sirocco that culminated in his crew beating Sirocco badly, leading him to flip. When his father, John Guy, was in prison, Guy Jr. was part of a ruling committee from 1991 to 2001 that leaned on veterans such as Mikey Scars for their advice. Guy Jr. later distanced himself from the mob, famously denouncing the life and stating he had quit, beating several trials and successfully walking away from the mafia. Gotti Jr. focuses on his family, including his son, MMA fighter John Gotti III. John Gotti Jr.
Okay. So now that the world has seen that video, probably once again, because the video has been out for several years,
No,
we're
you
going to
don't
go back.
understand, Brooklyn. Johnny Ali's a liar now. They all ran to him for the answer. Proctor's a liar. I mean, the next thing they'll tell you, everybody's lying. That's what I'm saying. Just talk. Don't even worry about these idiots. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even worry about it.
So back to the video. I mean, the video shows it clear. For the people who say they don't know who he is, I've received several messages saying God, he don't know who he is. He hasn't,
Yeah.
he's lying. He's not who he says he is. Well, that video came out several years ago, and as you can
Before my
see,
book.
way before his book, way before he came out and told his story, way before he did the Vlad interview or any other interviews for that much. So that we'll just leave that there just to let you guys see that these people do know who he is. For some reason, they just I don't know, they're just hating at this
You know what
point.
it is? As soon as I got out of prison, I wanted a normal 9 to 5, that white picket fence, normal family. So I didn't run on these shows. I didn't need the money to start these shows. Yeah, I mean, I could always use money. Don't get me wrong. I never thought about doing a podcast, talking about my life. I used to tell my daughters I worked for my dad in his restaurants and pizzerias and delis. I mean, I'm in Howard Beach, my father had Howard Beach Pizza, Howard Beach Deli, right on the same block. Everybody knew us. But all of a sudden, they don't know me. They're too. You know what it is? The people that are on here are all younger kids. I'm an older generation. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. What do we got here? Swamp Boy 81. Great job, fellas. Brooklyn Finest, you're a natural. Well spoken, and y'all are going to kill it. Did your Jersey family have a fraction in Tampa or Central or South Florida? Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
Again, I'm not a mobologist. I know there was guys down in Florida that was with us, and they operated out of there. To what degree we did with, I don't know. I don't know. Florida, Tampa. No, that was more the Traficante family. I think it was called.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
had guys down there that had homes down there, and they hung their hat there. They're still a wise guy, no matter where they are. You know what I mean? But did they set up a shop? I don't know. But as far as if they had a beef, their badge is good anywhere.
So shout out to No Nonsense Guy 401. Jimmy, I ordered your book yesterday. Looking forward to read. Definitely is a great one.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I waited 20 years to do this, over 20 years. Nothing to gain. I'm financial okay, and I'm just talking about my life story. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But I'm shooting straight from the heart. And anybody got anything different, they can put their money where their mouth is. And you could come at me with 50,000, 20,000, 5,000, and I'll prove you wrong. Because anything I stated, I'm not one of these guys. Like I said, I sat 20 years, never said a word. I live very well. I don't need this. I'm not making money on this.
Yeah, I see the pool table behind you. I
Yeah,
see that.
this is my playroom. My Trump sign, my Jet sign.
I might have to come out to Arkansas and kick some butt for sure for some money.
Yo, you'll like it. I'm telling you. Listen to me. Like people ask me what life I like better. I enjoy sometimes the nightlife there and the good food, but living a normal life, this is no better. I mean, you sleep with your doors unlocked. You know, everybody is yes, ma'am, no, sir. It's such a great thing. I mean, my kids, when you meet them, they'll be like, yes, Mr. Brooklyn. You know, that's how we raise our kids. Totally different atmosphere. I mean, but the food is not as good. Never hit traffic. You know,
I wish I can say that for here down in
but in the
Florida.
town that I live in, Jonesboro, it's like the higher, more and more shopping. It's really busy. I mean, and you know, over there. But if you go out further, it's never traffic
Thank you
unless you
so
go to
much, Joey
Little Rock
Candela.
in the morning. We'll just say, Jimmy, thank you for joining in and watching. I really appreciate that.
Joey Candela, Jimmy, screw these trolls. People from those days know what time it is. You just answered it perfectly fine, Joe.
Joe,
I
I
always tell
appreciate it.
people
Like I
that.
said, I'm not out here talking about I robbed JFK, I killed JFK. No, I was a stupid idiot that thought being a gangster was better than anything. And any kids out there watching, no, if you're that stupid to fall for it, I'm telling you, you might as well put a needle in your arm. To me, it's almost the same thing. Because either you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
wind up in dead or jail. So,
You know, the one thing I don't understand is like they're telling you about this story and they're giving you bad feedback. Like, if you're boasting about this, you're not boasting about it. You're just telling your story, how it is. I highly doubt if anybody showed their paperwork, but out of the generosity of your heart, you went and did that. We're gonna go through that real
but I was
quick.
hoping to lure people in and tell them, I'll bet you 5,000. I was hoping.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you like this:
And if you
whoever
don't
is
listen
dumb
to me,
enough.
hold on, let's do one better. We're doing a 2-1. I'm laying 3-1. Last chance. Come on, put up a
No,
shutout.
we don't gamble on this site, but what we
All
can
right,
say
listen. We break
is
a couple rules. Listen, we'll go to Vegas. However you want to do it. Cash, snap, elapse, any
what I
way you
can
want.
say is this to everyone who's out there that's doubting his story. And if it had to come to a betting situation, my personal opinion, if I was you, I would not take the bet. You will 100% lose your money. I've seen it, I've read it, and soon people will see it for themselves. So let's get back to the fans here.
And Brooklyn grew up in my neighborhood, and he heard my name a lot.
N Carolina 23E. Jimmy, I just finished your book today. I highly recommend everyone grab a copy. God bless.
Thank you very much. I wish you. I mean, shake your hand. I appreciate that. I see things like that make me happy. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? That's why I'm doing it. This way, come to show how my daughters, I can show them Daddy went from being a piece of dirt, trash, whatever you want to call me, a gangster, to this. And then I have this to back it up. Give them something, memorial, memories. You know what I mean, Steven? I
This
mean,
is what
that's
it's about. It's about raw conversations right in the front of your face, no editing, just two people that knew each other for a very long time. I'm not here to take his side on anything. Clearly, he said it several times. He's very
Proctor
he's
found a
heard at what he's
newspaper
done.
clipping. Proctor said he
Yes,
found
he
a
did.
newspaper clipping.
Yes, he
He
did.
also said Sal told him about another guy killed, allegedly homeless guy. That's not true. So don't make statements like that. You know, I don't put bum wires on people. That's a bum wire. Said shot a homeless man. You know, killed a homeless. Whatever he said. I don't even remember what Proctor said it.
For sure.
You know, that's wrong. So there's two right there. I mean, what do they want?
I got something good that you're probably going to want to answer. Shout out to Johnny A. Light, free Johnny A. Light. Hope you're on the street very soon. This is coming from Uncle Charlie Q8H. Jimmy, what's going on with Johnny A. Light? Is he going to be doing time?
If he is convicted of these things, which he's still innocent, remember that. If he's convicted, probably if he pleads out, he'll probably get a nickel, maybe 6 years. He'll be home in 4.5. But my opinion, again, he didn't hurt nobody. He was only talk. You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
Just like sometimes people can be intimidated by you by your size, or be intimidated by you by your ex-convictions. But he might have said it if he said it. But there was no violence. They could have gave him, where I'm going with that is house arrest. Put him on. He's a congressman there. Put him on a bracelet. Lock him in the house. Save the government money. It's some state money that keep him housed up. Put him on a house bracelet. He ain't that stupid to violate his bracelet.
You know, the one thing I don't understand about this world is I actually thought it was innocent until proven guilty. And now that we're in 2026, I finally realized that it's the total opposite. It's guilty until proven innocent.
No, they stick you in the hole. You got to prove you're innocent to get out of the hole. So it ain't innocent. If that's the case, you get a letter, you appear in court, and you have your day in court. No, they'll lock you down and keep you in hellholes mentally to try to break you.
Yeah.
Then they'll give you diesel therapy. I was in MCC one day, the next morning, it was a list. Pack it up, you're going to Otisville. Okay? Get up there. It's beautiful. Big, but it's still pre-trial summer. I'm up there, Anthony Lance and Georgie Conti. They're calling, he's a captain in the Lucchese's. They were all up there. We lived great. 2 days later, pack it up. You're going back to MCC. They were giving me diesel therapy. Anything to try to get me to flip.
Not giving you a chance to
And that's the case. I got
settle
locked
down.
up with Nicky Carrazzo and Lenny DiMaria. I got locked up. 47 of us, 45 that got bail. The only two didn't was Nicky Carrazzo because he had a Florida case going. So if he'd have got bail, they would have just cuffed him. So he'd have wasted his money. And me. So.
Shout out to Craig Cola, 10461. Shout out to you. Actually, I have a question from him as well. Let's get to that right now. Actually, it's more of a statement, but we'll put it on there. Johnny A. Light is innocent until proven otherwise. Unfortunately, they made a political example out of him. You are 100% correct. We're not going to go into the political stuff on this channel. But like I just stated, unfortunately, in 2026, you are guilty until proven innocent. Free Johnny A. Light.
Never mind the money you got to pay to prove your innocence, and the money you got to pay to get a bail bondsman, private investigator. You want to fight a case, you got to show the prosecutor, I'm not going to lay down. So now you're spending all this money, so they can't beat you one way. They weaken you by taking your money.
What do we have here? Pee-wee, 910. Jimmy, my man, Tony Pizza says you're fake. I don't believe him. Why is he going after you? You look like a great man.
Ask Tony Pizza why. Tell him, please, give me a reason why. I have nothing to gain. Tell him I'm not getting paid. Nothing. I'm just doing this to get my story out. Like I said, 20 years I held it in. I went through a bad divorce. My daughters encouraged me to tell my story. If you don't like it, tell Tony, eat pizza. Leave me alone. I mean, I don't know what to say. Tell Tony I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's something that he has to answer. If that's what he's telling you, then maybe you should ask him, hey, why do you feel that way? Give you some factual evidence on what Mr. Easy did that makes him a fake or a fugazi or whatever name you want to call it. Ask him and then bring it on the show, or even better,
Please.
Tell Mr. Tony Pizza to come on live. We'll put him on here and he can tell him to his face. And if he has any questions for him, Jimmy Easy will be right there to answer it live and direct. It don't get better than that.
What kind of pizzas he make? Does he make Sicilian? I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm starving too. Please don't
Don't
tell me
talk
about
about pizza.
pizza. I'm on a
Give me the
diet.
donuts. I don't eat donuts. Don't talk about pizza.
What do
I'm
we
starving.
have
Listen,
here?
I'm in Arkansas. I'm in the winter inspection program. I don't get pizza like New York. So tell Tony, at least throw me a slice.
You was in it. You was in the program.
Yeah,
Those
I saw
days are
that.
over.
Well, yeah. I've been out 10 years. That's what I'm
Back
saying.
again.
I flipped in '01. Some of you guys were how old? God only knows. In '01, I flipped. When Vinny Palermo, Anthony Capo, Anthony Vitton, their whole crew, Frankie the Beast, Victor D, we all flipped around the same time. What was I going to come home to? A family that was gone? What am I, a free agent? I'm going to have somebody lean on me, take everything I got? They
Oh, and the
offered me a
worst
new
part
life.
about it, everyone over you flipped way before you. You were the last one standing. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't understand. Basically, all the information that was given was already known. The boss of the family flipped.
I just confirmed. That's it. I cooperated. That's it. But they gave everybody up. I just cooperated because they had about 11 guys. I mean, I don't know why they even need me. And to be honest with you, I don't think they did. They never even put me on one trial. I didn't
Yeah.
testify on one person. I was set to go on Junior's trial. They took me and like 8 other guys off. Um, and then there was a couple other ones, but they pled out. And
Yeah.
then the rest of them, like I had the medical Fugazi Medical Centers, the doctor and the medical administrator. We had a thing going on with no fault acts, car accidents. As soon as they went to them, they flipped. So I don't have to testify on nobody.
Exactly my point. The boss
So
flipped.
that's
Once the
why
boss
I don't.
flips, at that point, Jimmy's way, he's way down in the ladder compared to the boss of the family. He was the last one to basically just tell them the story. That's really all he did. So
I could
let's
have
go
stood
back to the
strong.
questions here. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I could have stood strong, took life. But look at the way I live now. And you know what? The guys that really went away didn't go away because of me. I was the small guy on the pole. So how the hell? I mean, am I claiming to be John Gotti? I mean, were these people on drugs? I mean,
Exactly.
Tony Pizza. Well, let me see the pizza,
Constantino.
Tony.
So I'm going to put up something that he just wrote, but let's get to this quick question. So we have uh, Cosentino, hope I'm pronouncing that right. 1532. How do you feel about the guy that flipped because his deceased grandmother told him to?
How do you feel about the guy that flipped? Well, there was Ralphie Guarino that robbed the World Trade Center in 98 or 97, 98, 99. So he flipped first. He wired up on Vinny Palermo and all the whole crew. I was at Fort Dix doing the case with Nicky Lenny. So he couldn't get me on wire. So when I come home, I bump into Ralphie. Stay away from me, kid. You'll understand why. 3 days later, they pinched them all. They didn't get me on tape. He didn't want to hurt me, Ralphie. So I'm home civilian now. I don't even have Vinny no more. I get in the medical business with the doctors, trying to make some money, hustling. And then I went back to bookmaking, whatever I could have got into. And then Wild Bill, I could have went with, but I had to wait, to get the okay. And then also Louis Haha in Fort Dix told me he'd love to have me. What a great guy Louis is.
Everybody wanted you, Jim. You was a good
I
earner.
was an earner. I was an earner. I hustled. I did everything I had to do.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing I didn't do, believe me. And I never had an uncle that was a captain, wise guy. I was always a civilian. You know what I mean? I never had no help. Whatever I got on my own. That I could say.
What do
I
we have
expanded when
here?
I went with Rudy, though, because Rudy gave me an unlimited bank account.
Shout out to Rudy. From what I was told by Mr. Jimmy Easy, Rudy was one of the best captains on the street. Rest in peace to him. Great man.
He was listening to me. I got locked up January 23rd on a case. You could look it up with Nicky Carrazzo, Lenny DiMaria. And the lawyer comes up to see me, and he said, Rudy called, checking up on you. I said, what, Jimmy, see if I flipped? He said, no, he didn't bring nothing like that. I was out the kid. You sent a message, tell the kid I love him, stay strong, whatever he needs. A month later, they called me in the counselor's office. I got an emergency call from one of my family members, and they put it through. You only get very few of those. And they said Rudy died. I was in pretrial. So I wanted to be a snitch. That was my opportunity. No more Rudy. They begged me. George Hanna when they got me in the car, he said, Jimmy, we'd love to have you. You probably wouldn't do a day in jail. I was never going to hurt Rudy. No. I don't care who what it was. So, but when I had nobody, I was coming home to a zero family. They called them the farmers or the throwbacks. There was no more left. So who am I going home to? Everybody's going to be making squeezes at me. Let's all grab him. He's my moneymaker.
Not only that, they're all way younger than you, so you would have to answer to the younger generation, which I'm sure, for any man that's older, it's kind of hard to do because the younger generation, they operate very differently, as you can see now in the new mob that is rolling around the New York streets. One thing I wanted to ask you and elaborate on is, as far as the mob is concerned, I know they're in many cities and different places. Where do you feel, just like a motorcycle a crew or a gang or something of that nature, where do you feel is the mother chapter of the mafia? Where do you feel that came out of?
The mafia chapter?
So like where do you feel the mafia has the strongest stronghold?
Right now?
No, in your days.
In my days with the fear. And they took the fear factor. Allegedly, no more shootings. No more, pretty much end the violence. So what are we, lawyers now? We're going to send you a letter. You got a total. You lost $1,217.83 this week. Please put a check in the mail. Yes, they do it with the legal sports betting. But
Yeah.
you still got your guys working out of the house that got their steady friends that rather call him. A lot of that is still going on. You got your Shylocking still going on. But what I don't understand is if you take the violence away, and again, I'm out of like 24 years, 20, I don't know how they're running. But I would imagine if you take the fear away from it, how else can we collect street money? We can't take you to court. Can't hire a lawyer and say, well, I lent him money above the usury law amount. It's a felony. So what do you do? That's what I don't understand. They're saying no more violence, no more murders, no more this. They got the legal machines. They got those loan sharking. They got their little protection money, like chop shops and stuff like that are paying. And, people doing illegal things, but they're not making half of what they're making, not even a quarter.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Right now, the fear factor from the mob, I believe, is gone. In my opinion, what I can say is I'm not a part of the mob. I've never been a part of the mob. I don't want to be a part of the mob, but yes, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York, South Brooklyn. The mob stronghold was very, very, very active. There was a gentleman in our neighborhood by the name of Scappy. He was a great man to the neighborhood. He took care of everyone. He had a candy store there. His name is Anthony Scappy Scarpati. Basically, he took care of the neighborhood. On 4th of July, he would do all the fireworks. If there was anyone that was low on rent or short on money, they would go to him, and he would basically just take care of everyone. He was,
like the
me
Robin Hood of
personally,
the neighborhood.
exactly. Me personally, growing up, I've never seen him do no bad. Everything was about nothing but respect. I've never seen him scream at anyone. He was just a loyal guy, and he looked out for everybody. So let's just say, in my opinion, Brooklyn, New York was the biggest stronghold when it comes down to the mafia. I could be wrong, but if I am, please shoot your shot. Let me know what you think. If there's any, stronghold that you feel is bigger than Brooklyn. But we'll get some of these questions out the way here. Jimmy, did you know Anthony Capo of the Cavalcante
Yes,
crime
I know
family?
Anthony
I
Capo.
heard he was
Yes.
a violent guy, and
Anthony
that is
very
coming
well.
from Mr. Ryan Brown, 1983.
Yeah, Ryan, I knew Anthony well. Matter of fact, you know who just reached out to me? He's got I never even knew it. He has a half brother. And I think he did a podcast with Gioli and Frankie Gioli. Is that am saying him right? He did a podcast, and I came up, and he goes, "Yeah, I heard Jimmy's name plenty of times." I knew Anthony very well. He hung more around Vinny. He hung more around Anthony Vitanda, the Staten Island crew. That's where he's from. His wife, kids. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, he's the one that did the most damage to me. I think. He's the one that killed Diamato. Him and Victor. Victor was in the car with him. They killed Johnny Diamato from allegedly because he was a
Allegedly.
corner swinger. Yeah, I
Shout out to
just
Swamp Boy. Swamp Boy 81. My dad was from Brooklyn, Greenwood Cemetery area, John Jay High School. I went to John Jay High School myself. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out.
I lived
Shout
on
out to
Fifth.
Spain.
What's up, Spain?
Spain won today. Shout out to them. That's what they're saying in the chat. So we'll give them a little shout out. Let's see.
I got a friends in that same cemetery. It's over by 6th Avenue where the dead end. I used to have the building on 6th Avenue, 22nd. That's where I used to live after I moved out of Carroll Street. I I moved over there by the cemetery. It's nice and quiet. But I know John Jay, yeah, right by the Methodist Hospital. I used to live
Methodist
on Fifth
Hospital,
Street.
Brooklyn, New York.
I lived on Fifth Street for like a year, and then I got pinched.
Jimmy, you definitely got the talk down. You obviously from New York, accent thick. So why worry about what people think about your story? I mean, who claims whacking out guys and really didn't do it? Shout out to No Name
That's a good
Needed
way to get indicted,
74.
right? To me, that's a way to get indicted. You know what I mean?
And
I
he
don't
said it very
imagine.
clear right there.
I couldn't imagine confessing to something I didn't do. And then let's say, hypothetically speaking, they can't solve that one. But here's a guy that's confessing to it. No, 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 no. Whatever I gave is in this book. And again, anybody willing to put their money up, 2-1 odds. I say grab it. Don't be a fool. Bet all you can.
Guys, remember Hitman Tells All in Amazon, $16.99 for the hard copy, $5.99 for the Kindle version. Go support it. It's a great book. You definitely have to read it. I read it. Took me about 3 days. Just great content. So we got here. Hey Jimmy, do you remember little Mikey from New Jersey? Shout out to Cole Kaluta. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Colota, what part, where was he from? And do you know his last name? What part of Jersey?
If you know his last name, send it in the chat. We'll try to bring you up one more time before we get
That
off this
Mikey is
live.
like John, there's a lot of Mikeys.
Shout out to South Southey in the house, 4050. Boss flips, all bets are off. 100% correct. If the
Was
boss flips, who are you going to tell on?
Not just the
100%
boss. They
correct.
can
Good point.
Google it. Anthony Rotunda, the captain. Anthony Capel, the one you just asked me if I knew. He's the one that flipped. Victor DiChiara, he flipped to the car. The guy Seamus just did an interview, and he said, as soon as I got in the car, and I asked him about when you said shoot him again. He's like, you got me. How do I get on board? I mean, Victor told me that. I was in the unit with him. He told me the same thing. He's like, they're too sharp for me. Victor's a sharp kid, good kid, and he's right. It's over with.
Exactly. Shout out to Coppola Cigars. He just send that over. We'll give him a shout out for sure. Shout out to Craig Cola. Hit the like button and subscribe. We greatly appreciate you. Okay, let's go back to some questions. Let's read this here. That's like the guy that confessed to Tupac's murder and he didn't think he'd be extradited to Vegas and he talked on TV. Now look at him. Actually, I went over that for sure. I went over that and it's a whole completely different
Look,
situation. We're gonna leave it right there. Yeah, it's a completely different situation. But yes,
don't
he
worry.
is locked up.
Time you will tell. That's all that I'll say.
We'll definitely leave that right there. Free him.
And I'm talking real
Hopefully
pistol.
everything goes well. I will tell my dad, John Jay alumni, everyone hit the like button. Swamp Boy, thank you so much.
All the
Jimmy,
likes.
if you're
I love all the
anywhere,
likes.
we'll put this up right here. Jimmy, if you're anywhere near Hot Springs, Arkansas, there's a legit New York pizza guy. It's called DeLuca's Pizzeria. Google it.
I know him good. His name is Anthony. When I
There goes
first
your
saw
answer.
he's from Bensonhurst. When I first saw him, I thought it was Mike DeRosa. I don't know if you remember him.
I got one for you here, Jimmy. Constantino, once again, do you think Ronnie G should be shelved? Is a rat for telling Gene to do something from a government email in jail? Keep going. Love your stories. One of the best out there. Thank you.
Anytime I feel you have communication to testify on somebody, sitting down with a government agency, even private investigators, we were taught, even reporters. Reporters love to break stories. So when you're talking to a reporter, any one of them, you're no good. And if you're sending somebody messages out to get somebody hurt, what is exactly what you say? Again, government email. Can you read that again, Brooklyn?
I actually remember this conversation. I think I watched that interview. So, what he's asking is Ronnie G had sent a message by a government email to somebody, I don't know who it was, saying to go send a young guy to do something, meaning go send Gene Borello. Actually, Gene Borello
Honest.
spoke about this himself.
That listen, if he did that, and if Gene says it, I believe it. If he said he's stupid enough to do that, that list gets intercepted. Gene gets pinched. He catches more time. It sounds like he's greedy. If that's you can't wait till you come home, unless he was doing live trying. At that point, they can't give him no more time. But that poor kid that's getting the list has got the problem.
Definitely. Shout out to Ben Russo, H8Y. We got a question from him. Jimmy Easy Sirocco, thoughts on Mikey Francesi? He seems like a really classy and smart guy.
They used to call Mikey the Ivy League wise guy. Intelligent, sharp, well mannered, knew when to speak. I I've only been in this company 2 or 3 times. He was always on Carroll Street with Andrew Russo and Chucky and JoJo and all those guys, the old timers. Well, old timers, they're a couple years older than me. So when make a long when the Colombo War went on,
I don't know what happened there.
when Michael when the Colombo War went on and Michael disappeared, I was in MCC around the time because I have a pitch in January '97. I was always with Andrew Russo, Angel Mush, and he said, "Oh, this fucking kid went to Hollywood. He says he's going to Hollywood to be an actor, producer, whatever." I wasn't paying attention. We're all gonna get indicted. I stood 9, 10 months with them when they thought they not one of them got indicted, and then I was away and I found, you hear everything when you're in the system. You're on the other side of the wall. You hear they got like their own newspaper. They call it. Nobody went to jail because of him. But I did hear Sammy say about a guy, a Jewish man named Walters. And honestly, I heard about that once before, but he never those guys in the Colombo group, that fraction. Now the other fraction, I'm not sure. I knew more junior side. You understand, Ali Boy, um, Andrew, Chucky, JoJo, those guys. We grew up on Carroll Street, and James Caan, the actor, was there.
Actually, that leads to our next question. So we got Victor Nava 9488. This is a good one. Which Brooklyn guys from your area did you know were active in the Colombo War?
Oh, okay. There was Joe Campy. His real name was, that was his nickname. Real name is Joe Campanelli. He wound up cooperating. They tried to shoot him at the beach. That was another time, whether it was before, or after the war, it started it with John the Barber. He's the one that shot him, and they hit him, but they didn't kill him. I knew Frankie well. I knew Wild Bill very well. His son, great class people. Joe Smash. I drove him around because he was scared to drive in his car because the hit was on him. Who else? I knew a lot of Colombo guys. Like Proctor said, he was very close with the Cavalcantes and the Colombos. But yeah, there was a lot of guys just went hiding. It got bad. They were killing guys put outside. See, here's another thing. They started killing guys outside their homes. And years ago, when you joined them, you didn't hear, oh, you don't kill nobody outside your house, not in front of the family. All that's going like the Catholic Church. All the rules are getting bent. We're bending more rules than the Catholic Church lately. You're allowed to be half Italian. Never was. Never was. I never heard that in my life. We always told to get inducted, you had to be 100%. And Rudy knew my family background, and he brought up three number of times, and every time I kept getting pinched. The Jersey case, the Fort Dix case. I mean, every time when they were ready, I got pinched. And then Rudy died, and then I said, "What do I got to look forward to? A man that I proved 20 years of loyalty to, gone." And I still took the 4 years at Fort Dix, came home, got pinched again, while everybody else flipped. 9 months late, 8 months late, I flipped. As I said, everybody's flipping. Joey Flowers, Lucchese crime family. He said, "What, Jimmy? You got nothing to let you. You're dead. Not dead like that. Like, where are you going when you get out?"
Yeah. Shout out to the big Kahuna TBK 4349. Hey Jimmy, I wish you much success. You were around the Cavalcante crime family. Did you ever know or hear of a guy named Jimmy Dirt?
Was it Jimmy Macciato? I don't know if they called him Jimmy Dirt, but he did work with
Okay,
construction and stuff. So I'm not sure. You know his last name? He's the one that wore the wire on, ratted on me, Jimmy Macciato.
definitely let me know in the chat if you have a last name.
A
He'll be more
last
than happy
name,
to answer
yeah.
that.
Dirt don't ring a bell.
What do we got here? What was the worst thing besides flipping you have trouble with today? Crime, etc.
No problem. I can shoot up the top of my head every day of my life. The the murder of Anthony Sawney, probably.
There
You
you
know,
go.
I was ordered to do it, and I did it. Well, and every day you got to live with that kid gone. And here it is. I knew him since he was a baby. It's the bottom line when Rudy orders you, and which we showed how it was showed in the paperwork. It was a sanctioned hit. When you're told to do something, as much as your heart is saying, "I don't want to do it," especially when I'm one of the targets he was telling on. And my main fear is what he would do to Rudy, and then the consequences to me for bringing him around. So that's probably the worst thing I deal with. Even on his birthday, I know his birth. I know him since he was born. His father was my best friend, but when he joined the
That's
life,
totally understandable.
he joined the life, and then he started getting too much money, and he just started using too much drugs. And then when he got pinched, he couldn't take it. We got pinched on a Jersey case, a jewelry case. and he
Shout out
flew.
to Cold. Great question. Great question. Thank you for that. What do we
Yes.
got here? Ant D 1801. Hey Jimmy, do you have any good stories from Bay Ridge? Maybe bars, restaurants, or anything interesting?
I don't know what year you were. This was like approximately 1990. There was a bar called the Saloon, Salon. And my brother went there with Anthony Muscles while I was out collecting with Batman that drove me around. And they called me up, hurry up, we're having a fight at the Saloon. So we shoot up. Batman drove the chase trucks. Kid could handle a wheel. So he got me I get there outside Anthony Muscles and my uncle, they're fighting with the bouncers. Some guy pulls out a gun. Says, I'm an off-duty cop. Fires shot in the air. I took my pistol. I shot him. Shot up in the air. I said, I'm an off-duty crook. Boom. Do you know that guy? Well, I'll never forget. He had a wrinkle. He ran. So, and when they heard the shots, that's when everybody ran. I got my brother. We threw him in the truck. We took off. We separate right away. Me and Batman in the car. I got no gun. They catch us underneath. You know where 4th Avenue, when you get on the Bell Parkway to go towards
Yeah.
Arizona,
Yeah.
underneath that vessel, there used to be a metal fence with a car lot there. It's right there, 4th Avenue and Prospect. They
Yeah.
roadblocked us, found no gun in the car. They locked us up. Like 8 hours later, they released us. They had nothing. They had
So
nothing.
it says, what do we have?
Restaurants. Hey, is
Victoria
Embers,
Nava 9488. Go ahead. You can keep elaborating if you need
is
to.
Embers still there? Steakhouse? I think
Embers,
Third
I
Ave.
don't believe is there anymore. Who? Oh, it seems like this person is a journalist, but we're going to go ahead and answer it. Victor Nava 9448. Who were the Decapicantes that did the score at the World Trade Centers?
Ralphie Guarino. And the other 3 guys, I don't know. They were workers of his. But one of them getting off when they had everything. They had everything. And the guy that gave it up was a guy from 23rd Street, Sal. He went to jail for it too. And the guy, when he get off the World Trade Center, the elevator got a shot of him. They went to him. He flipped. His best friend took off. Then the guy in the car, I heard, I don't know. He might have flipped. I don't know. But they went to Ralphie Guarino, George Hanna, the head of organized crime, one of them. And he was an ex-street guy from Brooklyn. And he told Ralphie, I know what you did. I'm going to give you time to think about it. And they wind up turning him into a street confidential informant. And he wired up on everybody in the whole DeCavalcante. Well, everybody had a shot to plus. And he pretty much, his tapes are even on YouTube about him arguing that we're the live Sopranos, who's who, who's this.
We got a great question here. In the book about the Cavalcante crime family, there was a made member of a crime family named Joey Smash. Who was? What family? Is he still alive?
He passed away, I believe, in 2018 or 19. He was an old time. I mean, Joe had to be at that point, 98. He lived on Bay 15th, Bay 10th to Bay 15th. He had a beautiful home. He was a low key wise guy. Like he would teach me and tell me, look at me. If you made 10,000, and would ask you, what'd you make? 500. And he tried to school me a lot, and he was good in that way, Joe. But Joe was like he didn't believe that I should go out on Friday night with Rudy. Stay home. We gotta spend your money, get in the limelight, get your picture taken. We all go to Turquoise. Friday night we had a section in the back. We had a good little time on Zios. And Joe was not one. Joe was a very conservative, wise guy. Drove a motorcycle to save gas, and he was a millionaire.
I definitely knew Joe as well as a kid. I didn't know at that time he was in the mob or a part of any crime family, but I did know him. He seemed like a very quiet guy to himself. My late uncle passed away, was good friends with him, and I knew nothing bad about him. So thank you for the question. We really appreciate that. Pee Wee 910, Jimmy, you know Sean McCarthy, aka Diddler.
Where's he from?
Where is
Pee-wee,
he
where's he
from, guys?
from?
Where is he
Give
from?
me a little hint. Don't forget, I walked away from the life. I got arrested in the end of 2000. So it's 26 years for me. So try to refresh me a little more. Help me. Hey, Jimmy, I asked him, Joe Pitt. Oh, Joe Pitt. Yeah, in the wheelchair. Tommy and Joey killed him. They were the security guards at Methodist Hospital, right?
Let us
They
know if
were,
that's confirmed in the chat,
yes.
and hopefully we can bring you
Joe,
back up.
one of them flipped and one got life. They killed him. He drove himself to the hospital when he got shot. Joe Pitcher got shot years ago by Jimmy Gallo. Accidentally, they were going on a score. And he accidentally, I guess, loading his gun, I don't know. And it went off, shot him in the back, put him in a wheelchair. But Joe Pitt, for a wheelchair guy, kept the pistol under his seat. Got you mad? Because that was his only way of defense. But Joe Pitt was a wild guy.
Back to Victor Nava 9448. I can answer this one. Did you ever find out where you might have seen Joe Barone while you guys were active?
No, he's got such a familiar face and voice. I just like I said, I knew an Apache owned company. I'd rattle my brains out trying to remember where I can't remember. Did you?
Mm, no. Shout out to Joe Barone. I've heard nothing but good things about him.
Gentlemen,
Hopefully it pops up in his head, or hopefully, it comes to light.
he
And,
might know. I don't. Maybe he's one of the guys there that night that tried to kill me. I don't know. Like people ask me, when they put the gun in me, police. And then when I got bum rush, I didn't look at face. I'm fighting for my. It was like swimming, drowning. There was so many of them. So
what do we
maybe he
got
was one of
here?
them. No, he was a banana. No.
What do we got here? William Brooklyn. What about Jimmy Calandra? That punk off my friend.
Jimmy was a tough guy. I don't know him personally. Let's clear the air. I don't know him personally. I know he went right back to his old house. So obviously he don't fear nobody. I was away with his co-defendants. I mean, they cursed him, but of course, that's normal. They did say a tough guy. That's all I really know about him. I know he's got a podcast too. He does some once in a while in his basement. Yeah, he talks events, I guess. That's all I know about him. Next one.
So we have here Ryan Brown, 1983. Jimmy, did you know Joey O. Masala? He owned everyone, it seems, and it didn't do anything right.
Wow, we could get in that all day long. I know him. I had dinner with him 300 times, easy. Every Saturday we had dinner after the club. He would listen. Joey had a heart of gold. And Joey had 10,000 in his pocket, and he had to give Vinny that 10 tomorrow. And we went out, and if he's with girls and all, he'll spend the whole 10 and said, "We'll worry about it tomorrow." That's the kind of guy he was. He owed everybody. He owed Chris Colombo money. That's why Chris got slapped because when he yelled at and lump chins, Rennie cracked him. Yeah, Joey O got killed on the golf course on Flatbush Avenue, I think. The Marine Park golf course. If you knew
Yeah.
Joey O, Masala, Joey O. Joe Smash used to say, you know what I call him Joey O? Because he's a real zero because he owes everybody money. But I got a kick out of Joe. He had personality, but Vinny got fed up with him. So when Wesley got all that money coming to him and Joey didn't have it to give it to him, he went to Vinny and Vinny said, "Do what you gotta do." Because Vinny wanted to give it him. He realized at that point, it's beating a dead horse with this guy. He's only going to dig me deeper and deeper, more sit downs. So he pretty much told Wesley, "Well, do what you got to do." Nice way of saying, "Do my work."
We want to get back to that story that you just passed on. Tell me and the viewers about the Chris Colombo situation with the Vimeo.
Chris Colombo one night. Lumchin's was a big meeting place. You walk in, anybody knows it was on Fourth Avenue by the Verrazano exit. That 92nd maybe. They'll probably correct me. Say no, you're wrong. 91st. And it was a known place because you walk in and the Chinese know who we were. And we walked to the bar. I had to meet you to collect money. So I buy a drink, $20. We're right there, right? So we'd meet in Lum Chin's. So we would always have dinner there. Like one Friday night it'll be Lum Chin's, one night it'll be Zio's, one night it'll be La Polina's, one night, Peter Luger's. I'm not tongue tied. So we were there one night and Joey O, he came up and he confronted Joey. Joey said, "Look, I don't have it. I'm jammed up." Blah, 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 blah. And Chris got fed up. And honestly, in Chris's defense, as much he's a half a weasel for all the podcasters, in his defense, I'll say, Joey lost. Joey should pay. That's simple. Joey didn't pay nobody. They called him JPN. Joey paid nobody. Did I put it there? So anyway, Vinny didn't like the fact he's yelling and making them all look stupid. So Vinny cracked him. He left. He walked out with his little hush puppy $700 shoes he said he had on. Told everybody.
So he never hit him back.
No, hit him back. Are you kidding? Vinny would have buried him. We all would have buried him.
Shout out to Pasta Patel. Oh, Patate. Ever go to Wiggles, Jimmy?
We would meet there. Rudy had a car. Rudy, I'm sorry. Vinny Palermo on Queens Boulevard. We would meet there like before hours before, and conduct business, Yeah, Anthony Capo would be there a lot. Anthony Rotondo would once in a while. Anthony was a very educated guy that laid very low key. I gotta say it. Um, Anthony Capo was there all the time. Vinny Palermo kept him by his side. He was, I think, pretty much his bodyguard if he needed it. So yeah,
Shout
I
out to
went there, but
Minio.
I didn't go there during working hours. That stuff was never for me. No.
Shout out to Minio 644. Jimmy Easy, my man. Thank you so much. I
I
got another
appreciate you.
question here from Constantino 1532. Does there have to be violence involved to be an ultimate gangster? For example, Sonny Franchise is up there, but why? Seems like those top gangsters always do something everyone keeps quiet forever.
I've watched the video too, and growing up, my father knew all those old timers, Jimmy Bird, Paulie Rock. He played cards or shot craps with them. He would always say, Sonny Franchise, he's a man's man. He's a real man. He could have had nothing in his pocket. He'd have helped you. That's my father said. He had a heart of gold. In and out of jail all his life. The guy did 40 something years, and then Joey Molino bashed him. And I'm not bashing Joey Molino. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But that was wrong. Even if he had for 100% proof Michael cooperated, you don't call that guy. That guy was no. I put him up there with John, Paulie Vario. I put him up there with the top guys. And to call that guy right after doing 50 years, I don't know what that guy needs to prove that you're not a rat. Guy does 50 years, you won't call him a rat. I think there's
Yeah,
something wrong.
he
There's
took
something
that
wrong when you
50
do
on
that.
the chin.
Instead of saying he should have been like his father, if he felt that way. Which with Michael, I'm telling you, I think Michael, my opinion, outsmarted the government. He played them like a fiddle. I feel. Because honestly, nobody, and I knew everybody in that neighborhood, you know it.
Yeah.
Nobody went to jail for him. Okay.
Shout
And
out to
he was
Michael.
not a small fry. He was a
Yeah.
captain. His father was underboss at one point, maybe acting. I might be wrong. So, at that point, and then he just walked away from life. He did his time. He did it in a hole, which, a lot of people question why. Some people rather do time in a hole. Honestly, there was times I locked myself in a cell and I'll take a book or listen to my radio, and I like to be alone. So because the guy was decided to be in a hole, said, I mean, if he was in WITSEC, PC, and Michael, I'm sure would have been. If I was eligible for WITSEC, he'd have definitely been eligible.
Yeah.
You know, they do a threat assessment, how dangerous it would be for you. I would have said 2 minutes, and William Gurren, the prosecutor, got up and says, Jimmy, I'm making arrangements with the marshals. We're going to try to get you to housing really quick, get you out of pub. I mean, what does they say?
Jelm 8171. Do you know the twins from Avenue U that died back in 2000, Anthony and Charlie?
Was it tuna?
Let us know in the chat, guys. Let
Was
us
it
know in the
Charlie
chat. Was
Tuna?
it tuna? We'll jump to the next one. Did you ever hear of a guy named Wesley Mickey, the Dunce Palacio?
No, I knew the one Wesley kid, the one that killed Joey O. He had like wild hair, short, fat. That's the only Wesley I really knew in the around the mob. I didn't know his last name, so I mean, if you Google Joey O was killed at the on, but when you get off Flatbush Avenue, Bell Parkway, the Marine Park golf course, in that parking lot, they killed him.
We
So
got one right here. This is a funny one. Let me just get this out of the way. Hey, Jimmy, any idea when I can get a good tag job these days? Shout out to Chicken Hawk 47. Absolutely not.
I hope you're the chicken hawk I was away with, Mike.
Absolutely not.
Well, Michael, years ago, I'd have been able to get you a nice one. But not no more. I don't need it. Thank God. Everything's good. Business is good. Thank God. I know I won't bust a grape. I got three beautiful girls. They are my wife. Matter of fact, I get off them and I take them out to dinner. That is my life. I ain't going to jail for nothing. And I don't need the money where they're going to entrap me. So don't trust nobody out there either. Let me tell you something. 70% of them, told by the old feds, between CIs are real informants. You know, you got the guy that stay out there forever as long as he don't have violence, but he'll tell them everything that's going on. So that's what I'm saying. You commit crimes with all those cameras, you guys, you really must be desperate. And I'm not saying it to knock anybody. I'm letting you know, be careful. It ain't worth it.
This is not the time to be doing any criminal activity. Everybody's always watching your
Cameras,
phone,
phones.
GPS. You know, this ain't back in the days where you had a beeper and you used to text your girlfriend 143 or I love you and write it on the screen. Times
How
have
heavy
changed.
was
So
she? How heavy
let's
was
see.
she? 143?
Well, that was actually for I love you, but that's for a whole different thing.
I'm breaking your balls.
Apologize if this is redundant question. I'm jumping in the live now. Jimmy, please elaborate more of taking somebody's eyes out. That's a pretty drastic statement. Why would you ever take their eyes out? Shout out to ELS SK7NF. Thank you.
Again, another. Well, I want to say I regret, but the guy was a child molester, and they paid me to go after him and get him. But they told me, whatever you do, don't kill him, just blind him and make sure he's not able to do this to another kid again. Now, remember, don't kill him because he's got a son with Down syndrome and he had a mother that was bedridden in the house. So if you do anything to him, that kid's going to wind up in a home. She's going to wind up in a home. So, make a long story short, I made sure he can't see another kid again. I found pictures in the van. If you've seen the pictures, you'd say now you could justify it. They were horrible, horrible. Little boys, no older than 3 years old.
I don't think there's anybody in this world that condones
I just
pedophiles. I hope not.
honestly, I can't say this one. Now Anthony and the two brothers. Yeah, I feel bad for all of them, the families. My heart goes out to them. If I could set the clock back, I would. This one, I got no remorse for him. I'm sorry.
There goes your answer,
Oh,
ELS.
forgive me.
Thank you for the question, brother. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
What do we got here from Joseph Denker Jr.? Jimmy, who was your favorite jockey?
Of all times, J.D. Bailey. Jerry
J.D.
Bailey was
Bailey.
the best. That boy had a clock in his head. You know, I don't know if you know, and then everybody says he's a lie. I owned a lot of racehorses. And I'm sure there's people out there tell you John Jr.'s brother, Peter Gotti, would come to my races. So I win almost 100 races. I win a McKees. I won stake races, handicap races, allowance races. You Google in the 90, like 92, 93, I started to 95. I kept the full barn of horses. I had John Tamara III. I used a lot of Marquez, the jockey Marquez. I used Joe Bravo. Um, what's his name? Luis Diaz. You know, if you know about horses, you know what I mean. He knew how to wake them up.
And for those of you who like horses, look up Disaster Master. That was Jimmy's first place champion horse.
That was the
Definitely look
star
him
of
up.
Bond. He was the star of the Bond. He won the McKee City Handicap Galloping Go. Then I took him out to Atlantic City. I won a race. It was I think $150,000 purse. It was on the grass. First time putting it on the grass, Disaster Master. He annihilated them. Turned for home. He already had the lead by 2 or 3.
Jimmy, how tough was 10-year
Honestly,
Alfani? He looked tough.
he is tough. I heard. I never seen him in action. I heard he's a tough guy, but he can't earn 2 quarters. I mean, he still lives with his mother, I heard, in Staten Island. I mean, this was the boss I was going to come home to. It's like, how much you got on you, kid? That's what I was coming home to. Go make some money for me, kid. No, I'm coming home to being a lobby boy. Fuck that.
I got a good one for you, Jim. I got a good one for you here. Was Joey M a fairly good jockey in his time?
Joey M.
Joey Merlino, we're talking about. Was
No,
Joey
no,
Merlino a
he'll
fairly
admit
good
it.
jockey in his
Now,
time?
honestly, he could have had a weight problem. You know, some jocks, they could be great, but if you can't meet that 106, 108, especially as an apprentice, maybe 103, if you, that's the problem. I exercised. I got on the track in the morning. I wanted that. I couldn't get near that. Too tall, too. But I still exercise. Some of my horses have Mom and Park, Meadowlands. That's why I kept most of them.
And let's make it clear, people. Jimmy used to do it. He couldn't make the weight at that time. It
I
was
was with a guy
stressful
named
for him.
Johnny Power Seller. He was with the Powerhouse crew. I mean, I tried. I mean, I was eating. Most of them were on speed all day long. You know,
Matt CW1MV. Jimmy, how much money did the average capo make per month in your family? Who would you say was the biggest earning capo in the DeCavalcante family? Was it Vinny Ocean?
Vinny was one of them, but Rudy Ferrone had one of the biggest loan shark business in Brooklyn. Wise guys came and borrowed off Rudy, and I did a lot of his collecting. Nobody could deny that. I got to the point I got so big, the small ones I was sending to kid Anthony Sarni. That's why I had to get rid of them. Pick up envelopes. It's for Sherlock. It's for this and that. Collection, the extortion. He knew what I had to pick it up for $200 here, $300 here. So that, yeah. Rudy was probably one of the biggest with Sherlock. But Vinny had the Fulton Fish Market. He had a piece of Union. A couple of them they had in Jersey. So when he became, I think it was 1194 and another one Mason Heavy won. So Vinny, when he became boss, I'm sure he got big cuts. Don't know how much.
So in your opinion, out of those people, who do you think was the most richest or made the most money?
Well, when Vinny went away, he left $1 million with his son Vinny and 900,000 with Renee, and the feds confiscated it. So if he had more, those his only 2 kids. He had an ex-wife. You're not going to leave with nobody else. You leave with your kids. So that's all he had. He came home to hustling. That's what I think because he got picked up. He's in Texas. He got picked up one time for prostitution inside a strip club. He went back to his old ways.
For sure. Definitely for sure. JAS underscore 180. Jimmy, why did Johnny A. Light and John Jr. fall out?
It's like when people say, well, John Jr. don't know nothing about bodies. He don't know. We really don't know, but I've heard there was an article. That's the only reason why I know it. It was on one of the internets saying that they chased Johnny A. Light in the early 90s because they heard there was a wire he might be bad. I never heard that in the street, but I've read it on one of it could be one of those fake TikToks, whatever they call those things. But
Yeah.
that's what I read. But the way I knew, John had him like a pit bull. That kid he was a dangerous kid in the street, John. I give him his props. He was. But I don't think they did him right. I think they took advantage of him, to be honest with you. And I don't mean like he's a dummy or nothing. He was just not he was Albanian and he had to prove his point, I guess. Prove himself to them. And he
Shout
did.
out to John A. Light.
Yeah, no, come on home. Don't get no more
Free him.
trouble. He was doing good with the PAL league for the kids in Staten Island. He was doing good. I was so surprised. We talked the day before. He said, Jimmy, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to talk about the past. And then I get a call. I think it was Gene Brown. Somebody texted me. Johnny A. was arrested. I was like, why? I never believed it. He did the Netflix series. He made money. He does the counseling. He's making money. I said, God bless him. Thank God. He changed it. But again, innocent to prove guilty. The next one.
Amen. Guys, one quick thing I have to say. We got about 8 minutes till we hop off of this. We're gonna shout it out one more time since there's a few more people in the chat. Today we have an American made interview, so we're gonna be cutting this live short. We're gonna be coming back to you guys as much as we can. We're gonna answer as many questions as we can for the fans. Please share the page, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the content. Let us know what you want to hear. We're trying our best to answer every question, whether it's stupid or not, whether it's interesting or not. It's all about you guys. So let's try to breeze through these 8 minutes. Hitman Tells All in Amazon. Once again, $16.99 for the book, $5.99 for the Kindle version. Great read. Give it as a gift. Believe me, you will love it. I know drugs in the mob is generally a no-no, but how many guys in the DeCavalcante family were involved with drugs? What is mostly coke or heroin? Was it mostly coke or heroin?
Well, they had the old time grease balls, and I don't say that in a derogatory way because I'm Italian, or they call them zips or whatever. They were mostly with the heroin, like the Pizza Connection. Who can remember that? In probably too many years. Pizza Connections saying bringing in. They were bringing in the pizza cans and marble statues, those big Italian marble statues the grease balls have in their home. They were baking the heroin right in there. So when they came through customs, it didn't smell. The
Yeah.
pizza cans didn't smell. And eventually, like always, somebody gave it up. So they went to the heroin business. Coke was most of the mob guys, not so much the maid guys. The maid guys will take a guy like, I'll take a guy, let's say his name is Anthony. Anthony, here you go. I want you to run a Coke business. You got my whole neighborhood here. You just kick me up, keep me out of it. That's how they do it. Don't let them play games with you.
Hope that answered your question, guys. Over here we have Peter Allen Boy. Yo, Jim, who, in your opinion, was the strongest, toughest family in New York from Italy?
From Italy, he's from Italy. You tell him about it. No doubt the powerhouse crew, the Genovese crime family. The Chin, yeah, they were the most powerful crew ever.
There you go. We got one more here. Vinny Chicken Cutlets. Eugene, did you know Anthony Capo and Anthony Rotundo? Yes, he
Yes, I
definitely
knew
did. We
Anthony
spoke on
Capo.
that.
I know them both very well. Anthony Rotondo was my celly in Witsec. When he come in, I didn't recognize him because rest in peace. He was a good man, good father. He loved his kids, and he was my celly. He always talk about how much he loves his kids and wife. And he come in, and when he come in, I'm looking at him. I'm saying, I know this guy, but Anthony wore a toupee, but I never seen him without it. So when he came to the unit, and he's asking, "Where's Jimmy?" And this guy comes up to me. I'm saying, "Who the hell is this guy? He's bald." Anthony had a set of hair, but it was fake. I now know. I never. Well, I kind of thought it. We questioned it. So to make a long story, they won't let you keep nothing in jail that you could give to somebody else to help sneak out, disguise anything to disguise. So they took his wig. So when he walked in, he said, and I was living in my own cell. I had my own single cell, my own TV. I had nice. I was head cook in Farrington. I was living large. And then when Anthony come in, I went moved to a 2-man cell. I gave up that single privacy, so he didn't have to go in with just anybody. And we got close. They put his family in North Carolina. He was telling me. His son didn't like it. His kids didn't like it, and I can understand. It's not easy, especially teenage kids. Tell them, "Hey, your new name is this. You're going to a new school." It's hard. Thank
Yeah.
God, I went in alone. I brought my brother in. He wanted in Arizona. I came here.
So going back to that question from Peter Allen Boy, I think I made a mistake here. He said, "Yo, Jim, who in your opinion was the strongest, toughest family in New York from Ireland?" Do you have any elaboration on that?
No, I don't know nothing about any mob guys. I don't want to know.
Sorry
No,
about that, guys.
that's a strikeout for me.
Vinny Chicken Cutlets will just answer this one. Cuz, did you know Larry that was with Rudy?
Larry, last name. Where was he from? Give me a hint.
Gotta give me a last name, brother. Gotta
A
give me a
hint.
last name.
What did he
Uh,
do? A nickname.
what do we got here? Free Dat 420 Maggie. What do you think of Tommy Karate getting out his side of the story?
Honestly, why not? Tell me why. I mean, he's telling his story just like I am, just like everybody else. There's nothing wrong with it. And you know what? Somebody bought the book rights. I'm not saying good for him because Tommy was kind of a wild guy, but to each his own. It's your life. You do what you want with it. If you want to write about like Greg Scarp, I talked to him the other day. His father, he's doing a book about a movie about his father with Mark Wahlberg. Great for him. He's making his money. He's telling a story about his dad. He's got history for his grandchildren to say that was your granddad. You can watch the movie on him. But then there's guys that like them.
What we got here? Torque Kill DZEN. Do you know what Johnny Cocola's last words were? Sorry, people, I can't see. These text messages are super small.
I don't even know who that is.
Sorry, we don't know who that is, people. We definitely don't know who that is.
Johnny Cock. Does he have a nickname?
Does he have a nickname? Put it up in the chat, guys.
Oh,
Let me
Wood
let you guys
family.
know. We only have 2 minutes left on the live. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. We're going to be doing it hopefully every other 3 days or so, or whenever Jimmy has some free time in his schedule. I just want to say coming up, we have some huge interviews. I don't want to put the names out there yet because we all know how the internet is, but he has some huge interviews coming up. Today we have American Made. He's going to be filming that interview and it will be releasing in a few days. So stay tuned to that. His real name was LaGuardia Airy.
LaGuardia area. No, I had a grandfather from Avenue X at McDonald, Gito Ligori. No, I didn't know him.
Sorry about that, guys. Jimmy, what do you think of Sammy the Bull? Let's
Listen,
make this quick.
real quick, honestly, there's no justifying what you did. You are what you are. Okay? Let's get that straight. John did not tell on him. John got caught on wiretaps just conducting business. He didn't intentionally hurt Sammy. So for him to tell you I outsmarted him, no, you beat him to the prosecutor's office. No disrespect, Sammy. You were my celly. I liked you. You're a good guy. But you're wrong by saying John. John was a thug. Let's face the fact. Call it like it is. That's all I'm gonna do. Call it is. I had no love for the Gottis, but I'll tell you right now, John was a thug. And when Sammy to say he was the rat, no, Sammy, no.
Well, guys, there you go. Straight from Jimmy Easy himself. John Gotti was a serious, serious guy. We all know that. Not only did he go against people in the street, but as you can see on many videos and on YouTube and millions of documentaries, he even went at his own son for I guess asking him if it was okay to cooperate. So he was a man's man. So we're going to leave this live on that note and say thank you to everyone who stopped in. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. Thank you for all the questions. I'm sorry if we didn't get to all of them, but the chat was flooded today. We will be getting back on live. So anything you guys have to ask, please save them, put them in a little folder in your phone, and we're going to bring up everything that you guys want to know to make it interesting. Share the channel. Everybody keep in tune, support the page. I hope you guys are liking the content. And one last thing before we go, this video will be posted either tomorrow or the next day for people who missed the live. I know there's a lot of people coming in and saying they missed it. So we will post it. You will be able to see it. Please share it, comment. Jimmy will be answering himself when he gets the chance on the messages when we post it. It is not somebody else. That is Jimmy's Instagram, Jimmy_Easy_Sirocco on all social medias. He is the one responding. Okay, people? Jimmy, anything to say before we head out?
No, again, check out my book, and I'll tell you what, it's all true facts. Everything in here, I stated the truth. And any questions you want to ask on my channel, I don't care whose feelings I hurt. I'm not here to make friends. You ask me a question about somebody, I'll tell you the truth.
Straight raw. That's what it's about. We can't go back on what we say. It's live. Whatever he says, hold him to it. Record it. Ask him 2 weeks from now. You got to understand, people, these questions that we are asking him, they're from 45 years ago. And this man still remembers
easy there,
it.
Brooklyn, easy. Easy there. You got me dead and buried there.
45. It's okay, Jim. Listen, you got good memory. Thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Guys, we'll be back soon. Let's go. We have to go do this other interview. We appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Brooklyn Talk, Jimmy Easy, Mafia Life on YouTube. Everybody share, subscribe. Hitman Tells All booking stores. $15.99 for the book. $5.99 for the Kindle. Don't forget. Thank you all for the support. We love you. Brooklyn Talk. We out.